Hi everyone, welcome to Smash Away Pinatas. This is a free mini course and we're going to show you in the little mini course, we're going to do a little emoji pinata. In our course, our regular course, we do other pinatas in a 3D shape. Most pinatas that are out there are relatively flat and like cardboard-like. There's no real curves or anything to them. So the difference between our pinatas is ours has that the three-dimensional shapes. So without any hesitation, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need is to blow up a balloon. The one that we're using is a 24-inch balloon. You can use 12, but it's a little bit small. So I would recommend for like a bigger shape, at least 24 inches. So we blew up our balloon, that's the first step. And then the next step is we're going to take, this is called trimmer's line. That's going to be, we're going to use that to make a little hook at the top for the pinata to hang on. So we'll put that there like that and then tape it on. And this is like so you can hang it on the ceiling. You'll be able to hang the pinata on the rope on the ceiling with this. So like I said earlier, we cut the trimmer's line with the scissors, used a little packing tape, and this is how the balloon looks like after we taped it around. So the next thing that we need to do is make our paper mache that we're going to put on it. So for this, we're using newspapers. So you just take your regular newspapers, like over here. It's regular newspaper. Cut it into strips like this. You want the strips to be small because if they're too big, then they'll just look funny on the pinata and they'll change the shape. So we cut a few strips like this, and then we're going to make a paste with flour and water, and we're going to use that as a glue for the to make the paper mache. You could use regular liquid glue that they sell at the stores, but depending on how big the pinatas you're going to make and how much you're going to use, it can get a little expensive. So we make our own paste when we do the pinatas. So we're just going to take a regular paintbrush, and we're just going to put a nice little layer of the paste onto the papers. So for this one, we want to make sure we start from the bottom and then we work our way up to the top. And it's going to take about 2 to 3 layers of the newspapers to make the paper mache, and that will make a good strong shell for the piñata in case anything happens to the balloon. So yeah, a nice 2 to 3 layers is good, and we work from the bottom and make our way up to the top of the balloon. And like I said earlier, small strips, don't get greedy and go for the big strips, because it's gonna possibly change the shape of the balloon. Now we're just going along the top for the hanger part of the piñata. Make sure you go around that area well too. You don't want that to be falling out on you.
Not the first. Oh.
Yeah, so this is a second layer that's coming on the balloon now. All the supplies that you need for this are relatively cheap. Like, we got the little paint brushes to put the glue on from the dollar store. We have the packing tape from the dollar store. Trimmers, twine from the dollar store. And what we're going to use to decorate is also from the dollar store. So relatively cheap to make. It just takes a little bit of time.
For 2 days, the most 2 days.
Yeah, so now we got the 3 layers on there. Now we gotta let it dry for 1 to 2 days. And then we can continue. Okay, so our balloon is dry now. So the next step is we're gonna start covering it with this white paper here. So any white paper will do, even printer paper is fine. We're just using it from this book. So we just tear out a page, and then we cut it into strips. Cut it in half like this, into like strips. And then we use the same glue like we used before. And then we're going to start covering the balloon. And we'll go from the bottom to the top. And after you cover it, you just give it some time to dry afterwards.
So I need to hold this a little bit so it doesn't move on me.
So we're just putting little strips, we're cutting out smaller strips to fill in those little areas. You just cut them as you see it. Like if you feel like you need to cut a smaller strip to fit in better, then do that. There's no real, no special tricks here. You just eyeball it, see how the paper fits. If you gotta cut it smaller, cut it smaller. You don't want to get too greedy, like I said earlier. Just cut huge strips and then have it look funny. So it looks like we're almost done. Just a few more pieces. It's too small. It's too small.
Just this piece.
Yeah, it's too small.
No, but this piece.
There you go. It looks like it's covered. Okay, so now our piñata is dried with the white paper on it. So our next step will be to use these yellow gift wrap tissues, and that's what we're going to use to give it that yellow color for the smiley face piñata. So we're just cutting it into smaller strips, and then we're going to use this Helmer's glue to stick the paper tissues on the piñata. So we're just cutting it right now. Okay, now we're going to start applying the glue. And for this, we're going to apply the glue very, very lightly. Because if you apply the glue too heavy, it won't look good. It'll look all clumpy. This gift wrap tissue is very light. So when you're applying it, just apply a little bit of glue along the edges, just so it could stick to the paper mache. Be very careful with this. If you go too heavy on the glue, it won't look good. It'll look all clumpy in the areas that you put the glue on. So, like with other parts, we start from the bottom again, and you work your way up to the top. Go higher. There you go. Okay, so now we're gonna do the top of the smiley emoji pinata. So for that we're gonna need smaller strips. So we cut it into little smaller pieces to do the top. Now we're just gonna glue it. Start over here. There. And then we have the two smaller pieces for the top. Now one more for the center over here. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is the eyes in the mouth, and we're gonna use this black cardstock construction paper. Sorry, or this is also from the dollar store to do the eyes in the mouth. And for the eyes in the mouth, we're going to need something circular. So this was just laying around the house, a vitamin lid, which is around the right size that we want for the eyes. So I took the yellow paper and I just drew around it for the outline. And we're going to use this to do the eyes for the thing. And we found like a plate around the house. We're going to use that for the mouth. So I took the yellow paper again. I placed it over, took a pen, and then I just traced the outline of the mouth. So I can cut that out now. Okay, so here's how the eyes and mouth look like after we trace them and cut them out. Now the last step is to put it on our nicely decorated emoji pinata. Okay, so we're going to lay it down like this, and then we're going to measure it and stick it out. We're just going to put a little glue on it, and it's going to look like that. Okay, so now we're just going to cut the back of the piñata so we have a spot to put the candies in. We're just going to cut a little square, and that's where the candies are going to go in. Any sharp knife will do. That's the last step. Yep, that's good. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Let's turn it around again. And there you have it. Emoji pinata.